The rocking of the ship no longer soothed Carth as it swayed against the massive dock. They'd been tied here too long for her comfort, long enough that Hjan claimed they should be venturing back onto the sea, but with each passing day they remained in the port. None of it was his fault, or any of the sailors. They couldn't affect the weather. But that didn't change the unease she felt. "You need to practice your breathing," Hjan told her. He barely glanced at her over the top of the book propped open on his lap. The long, ink-coated quill rested on a strip of paper next to him, and his fingers were stained with the dark blue ink that he preferred. "My breathing?" she snapped, before taking a calming breath and shaking her head. Maybe he was right, and she did need to practice her breathing. "We've been here for nearly 2 weeks, Hjan. 2 weeks, and I've been stuck on this stupid ship the entire time." "This stupid ship is bringing you to the next step in your training. It will bring you to the Hjan, who can train you." "You say that, but I have no evidence of it." He kept telling her about the next step in her training, but she never felt any closer to it. Instead, she felt as if she ran from those she needed to help. "You would rather the captain risk the storms?" Carth breathed out. The captain claimed reports from other ships coming north told of terrible storms, and he preferred to remain in port until they were known to have passed. This was the only deep-water port for leagues, but that didn't make her feel any better. "I would rather get as far as we can from the Hjan." "You shouldn't fear them. You were the reason they were stopped in Naesh," Hjan chastised. "You do?" A hint of a smile played across his mouth. "Do I?" "I saw you when they attacked in Naesh, and when the Aras fought." He sniffed and glanced back to the book. Since they'd been stationed in the port, he had spent all his time reading, occasionally taking notes, but never seeming to have the same anxiety as her. It was almost as if he truly felt as calm as he tried to portray. "Any sane person would know a hint of fear when it comes to the Hjan. Your parents did, Carthenne, which was why they wanted to bring you to the Aras. They knew what might happen." She sighed. Her parents. It had been months since she'd thought about what had happened to her parents, months since she had mourned them. In some ways, that felt unfair to their memory. In others, she was thankful for the ability to forget. She'd spent enough time in the weeks after their passing trying to understand why they would have been killed. Now she knew the Hjan had killed them, and thought she knew why. It was the same reason they had come after her. Leaning against the bunk, one that reminded her of the bunk she'd been given by Vera all those years ago, she stared up at the slatted ceiling. "Did I ever tell you of the game my father used to play at night?" she asked. "Your father was of Ilash. I believe you said he played many games with you, Carthenne." That was true. Most had been designed to help her learn to move in the shadows and the darkness, but it had been the games he hadn't taught her that she wished she still had him around for. There would have to have been games for her to understand the shadows and what it meant for her to be shadow-born. She controlled the shadows in ways that even the shadow-blessed weren't able to do, but there wasn't anyone who could help her understand what she needed to do with the shadows and what she was really capable of doing. She had hints, but that was it. "Why do you think they used games?" she asked. Hjan set the book down and looked over to her. "Games have the advantage in that they make training enjoyable. When you played with your father, did it ever feel like work?" "I was young, Hjan. Nothing they did would have felt like work." "Youth doesn't mean you couldn't be put to work, Carthenne. Many your age can be put to work. Think of the Aras. Did you enjoy your lessons there?" Carth grunted. "I don't think the Aras wanted to teach me." "They didn't know what you are capable of. Even near the end, I don't think Invar fully understood. That was not his fault, but I can understand how that made it harder for you."